Follow me, if you will, to Acts chapter 26. And I'm reading the first part of verse 22. Having therefore obtained help of God, I continue unto this day. No, just stop there. The topic today is help in difficult times. Help in difficult times. There are seasons of our life when things may be challenging, when things may be difficult. God has not promised us that it will all be rosy. There will be days when your strength will look like it wants to fail you. You've prayed and prayed and prayed, yet the admission hasn't come. Even your younger ones at home have gone to school and you are the only one left. And guess what? You are the only believer. So it will appear that being a believer has become a problem to you in that house, because those that don't know Jesus, things are going well for them. Difficult times. There may be periods in your life when there is no money. When there's no money, everybody becomes a philosopher. Meetings will be plenty. When there's no money, difficult times. Some years ago, and I'm not talking about too long, I don't know what happened. It was a difficult time for me. Money was challenging. It was just as if everything around me was tight, as if my heaven was closed. Be careful what you say during difficult times. That it is difficult does not mean that God has forsaken you. Then I remember that there was a time in the life of Jesus when it was difficult for him, and he was like, my Father, why have you forsaken me? In actual fact, for him, God looked away. For you, that it's difficult does not mean that God has looked away. It is just for a short time. Sometimes the issue is a life partner. You know, it's interesting sometimes when I see, and it's not that it's not normal, but it's interesting. The level of pressure singles have to go into marriages, and the level of pressure married have to divorce their partners. And it appears that what you were rushing into, that you waited on the Lord for, that you went to the mountain for, that you fasted for, Lord. In fact, some of you said, this is the only request I have this year. If you can answer this prayer, don't answer another one again this year. I just need a life partner. And then you get married and you're saying, Lord, how did I get into this marriage? And the Lord is saying, but you pray and I gave you. Difficult times should not make you regret your blessings. For some other people, it may be failure in exams. You're just failing and failing. You have so failed in that exam that the examiners now know your name. That your failure rate is so woeful that you are now an award winner. And you're like, what's happening to me? I wasn't always like this. Sometimes it's a sickness. You know, it's sweet when everything is going well. When challenging time comes, it's difficult, it's challenging. That's why it's called a difficult time. A sickness shows up in the family that is draining all the money away. It's not that the money is not coming, it is that the supply is not enough to meet the need. Sometimes as you receive your salary, you don't have joy, because you know that the much you will spend on medication is a lot. Difficult times are there. But the good news is this: God will not leave you alone. Jesus said, and lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the earth. Now when we are faced with challenging times, we all come to church, we are looking good, but our challenges are different. That's why sometimes it's a sign of immaturity when you ask someone to help you and they cannot help you and you get angry with them. You know, years ago, I used to feel bad when I cannot help somebody and I really want to help them. These days, I don't feel bad again. Not because I don't empathize with their situation, but I've realized that I am not God. I've realized that only God can help man. In fact, any help you render is because God has enabled you to render it. Never feel entitled to another man's wallet. Are you with me? Because you don't even know what their own challenges are. Somebody says, but I know he makes more money. He makes a lot of money. But do you also know the level of bills that he pays? Whenever you are looking at man, you are looking in the wrong direction. Man may be willing to help you, but he may not be able to help you. Sometimes man is able to help you, but is not willing to help you. God is always unhappy with us when we substitute him with men. You have need, and instead of looking up to him, you begin to look down at men. You begin to do rankadede for man. And the Lord says that this man you are looking at, his breath is in his nostrils. If God seizes his breath, that's the end. And do you know how many people have died? Because they attempted to take God's place in the life of another. Anytime somebody comes to me for help, I always ask, Lord, is this something you want me to do? If God doesn't want you to do it, you are going to put yourself in problem with God if you do it. You didn't get that? Number one, when somebody comes and they say to me, sir, you are the only one that can help me. Generally, I don't help them. Or I delay the help. Why? You are putting me in the place of God. The truth is, God is the only one that can help you. Once I begin to hear I am the only one, I'm afraid. You have made me become afraid. Number two, why I ask is, sometimes God punishes people. You don't know. Who punished Nebuchadnezzar? Huh? God. Who sent him to eat grass like an animal? Huh? God. Now you now come as a prophet. Say, I speak over your life, Nebuchadnezzar. Within the next 7 days, you are getting out of this. You are going to turn around. That's why you see a lot of false prophecy. Maybe not because the man intended it to be false, but because they don't seek the mind of God. You just declare and decree things. Not all declarations will lead to manifestations, because sometimes your declaration is not in line with God's agenda. So, Lord, are you the one punishing him? You can't help a man that God is punishing. You will be punished yourself. Shout hallelujah.